In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 of the ways that you can pull in clients faster, but I'm also going to share with you 3 of the things that can actually stop you from getting those same clients if you're not careful. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And I want to start off by talking to you about the things that can actually block you from getting these clients, because once you are aware of them, you pay attention to them, you can quickly get past those so you can focus in on getting the clients. Now, the very first thing that really can stop you is, this is especially if you are newer in business, is that you are going out and you're looking at the competition, which is actually a good thing. This is where you can get a lot of ideas and inspiration. At the same time, this is where some of that copycat mentality comes in, where we start looking at other people's websites, we see what these companies are doing, and we don't really have the full picture. All we can see is the tip of the iceberg, but it looks really good. So what we decide to do is that strategy seems to be working, so I'm going to therefore copy that strategy. So when you copy the strategy and you try to implement that same strategy to attract clients and how to set up your website and your business, and you're pulling that all into your business, there's 2 reasons why this doesn't tend to work out so well. And the first reason is that this other company or person and you are probably in 2 very different stages of business. And the second reason is that the reason that business set up their business in that way is because it worked for them. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. So really, this is where we want to look at the competition and understand why they're doing what they're doing, getting some ideas and that inspiration, but then taking that information and coming back to our own business and saying, does this business model or the strategy that they're using, does it match me? Does it match where I want my business to go? Does it match how I want my business to run? Does it match my future potential clients that are out there? So these are the things that we want to make sure that we are making the decisions in our business, not because of what other people are doing, but because it works for us and it's really what's going to be the best thing for our own business. Now, the second thing that can stop you, and this is especially again true of those of you who are newer in business, is that you yourself truly believe that you are worth it. Meaning you believe that you are worth being hired and that you're worth being hired for what it is that you want to charge. Now, if you're thinking, I don't know, I get a little knot in my stomach when I want to charge a certain amount, or I don't really know why someone should hire me. If you don't know why someone should hire you, well, then believe me, it's going to show through in a lot of what you do, and clients are going to pick up on it. Now, they may not pick up on, they don't think that they're worth it, but they feel something and they know that there's something underneath. Because you feel a little uneasy, they're naturally going to feel a little bit uneasy. So quick way or a quick exercise to really overcome this is to get out a piece of paper and actually write down some reasons and spend 10-20 minutes on this and write down the reasons why you are worth it. Why are you good enough to do this in your business? And I know a lot of you are going to completely ignore this advice. You're not going to do it at all, and that's okay. But, it's going to be harder to get past this. And if you just do this, write this down, and then read this list back to yourself out loud every morning. Read it over and over and over again. This helps just reinforce those positive thoughts, and that absolutely is going to show through when you go to write proposals, you have some initial conversations with clients. It's going to push you to take more action because you are training your mind to believe, yes, I am truly worth what it is that I'm trying to do. So you're more likely to take action and bigger action to help get towards those goals. All right. Now, the third thing that can really stop you is that when you believe that you are worth it, you believe that you have the skills and that you're able to push through and get some results for clients, but you don't have anything to show for it, that's where it can really hold you back a bit. So I recently shared a video about how to get results for clients, how to actually use their website to generate more leads, customers, and sales. And whether you're providing web design, SEO, your other marketing services, if you didn't watch that, definitely go back and watch that, because that is what you want to focus on. And so what you want to do is you want to go out and you want to start building out a portfolio that is around those results, because then you're not really doing the selling. You're just saying, hey, you're telling me you have this problem, and I'm saying, hey, I have this solution, and I took this same solution and I applied it to these businesses that were having a problem like you, and look at the results that they got. You see, so that's a very, very different conversation. And these things are really going to help position you that when you actually go out and have a potential client to talk to, that, well, this is really going to make it much easier to sell, because they're going to see what it is that you have. They're going to start trusting you, and you're going to build that relationship. They're going to like what you're saying, and then you're going to back it up with proof. So that really just makes everything easier. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about 3 of these faster ways to get clients. Now, I am a big believer in looking at both short-term and long opportunities to gain clients. So for instance, if you are brand new to this business and you say, well, I'm going to work on SEO on my website to bring in clients. Well, that is a wonderful long-term strategy, but we really need to balance that with how are we going to get some clients in now. Now, at the same time that I don't want you to just look at a long-term strategy, I don't only want you to work on just these short-term strategies and never consider any longer-term strategies, because when we look at the longer-term strategies, that's going to help you build up this steady pool of warm leads there for you that you always have, that you can dip into whenever you need a client. It's how you're going to be able to automate more of this lead generation process. But for now, we're going to focus in on these quick ways. So one of the quick ways is what a lot of people talk about, and that is to go to who you know. Now, I know when I heard this, I was like, okay, yeah, but nobody I know has a business, or nobody I know wants a website, or whatever it is, right? What I want you to do is think beyond just who it is that you know, and look at your connections, okay? Because a lot of times they may be connected to a company or another person that is in need of your services. But to really take this even another step further, when we are talking to potential clients, a lot of times we're not going to just talk to them one time, or for them to hear about us one time, or see an ad one time, or download a freebie from us one time, and then all of a sudden they're just paying us as clients. So we have to continually market to them. We have to continue to nurture them as potential leads. And we don't typically tend to apply that strategy to the family or friends or colleagues that we know, meaning we have to continue reminding them of the business that we're in and what it is that we're looking for. And we don't want to come across as salesy, or, we're trying to use the relationship or to annoy our family and friends and colleagues. But one good way that you can do this is just when people are saying, hey, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a little bit. Oh man, things are great. I've been doing such and such with the family, or took this trip, or whatever's going on personally. I've also been working on my business, the one I was telling you about, where I'm providing X service to X people. And, it's been going really great. I'm still looking for some new clients, but we've been getting some great results with the ones that I've had. It's been so much fun. See, just dropping in the reminder, you're telling them how you're doing and what's been going on with your life, but at the same time you're dropping that reminder that, hey, I'm still looking for more people, but I'm enjoying it and it's going really well, and people want to help. Now, I think back to one of the best deals that I had at the time years ago actually came from a friend. Now, this didn't happen overnight. I didn't say, hey, I'm doing this business and I'm looking for leads. And she's like, well, here you go. This was actually something where we knew each other for multiple years, but I didn't actually keep following up like I'm telling you to. I didn't continue to nurture her as a potential referrer. And what happened is once I started doing that, a few months later, I ended up getting a call from her saying, hey, I have this person. It was actually a local government agency who was looking for some work. And I really didn't have the time to do it at that point. But because I had been working on building up a team and some people that I could go to and had some people I could trust, I was able to outsource that project that she brought in 100% to someone else, and was able to mark that up about 70% and be able to pocket all of that and be able to still provide that service. So it ended up being really amazing. But see, that's why you have to continue nurturing the people that you know, because they are out there looking at their connections. So 1, try to go out there and look at their connections, and 2, make sure that you're continuing to nurture the people that you do know in a very non-salesy way. And that way they're remembering and they're looking at their own network that you may not know about and can bring in some leads for you. Now, the second thing that you can do to bring in some clients quickly is to outreach. And we've all heard about cold calling and cold emailing. It sounds horrible and it has low results a lot of times. But here's what I would encourage you to do. Now, once you figure out out who you actually want to serve and you know how you're going to be able to serve them, then being able to reach out to these types of businesses, letting them know who you are, but really letting them know one or two things that they could do to improve their conversion on their website, and something that probably they can do themselves if they wanted to, and that way they can see a quick return on that and then be able to follow up with them. Now, this is a good thing to do to be able to send to them, but then to be able to follow up another time. So for instance, if you send this via email, now you're going to be able to follow up with a phone call and be able to reference the email that you sent. So now when you're following up and you're trying to reach them, anybody answering the phone, you can let them know, well, this is just in reference to an email that was sent earlier in the week. And this will help get you through a little bit more. But if you're like, oh, I don't know about this feels a little bit too salesy for me, what you can also do is still use the same outreach method, still give them a couple of things that they can do on their website to improve their conversion, and then invite them to something. Offer to send them a guide that you have, invite them to a free Facebook group, or invite them to a free training that you're going to be giving, even if this is virtually. But you see, this is ways for you to be able to pull someone more as a cold lead and start warming them up by giving them even more value. And when they are then off of their platform, they're more coming to you. Well, now they may start opening up a little bit more. You can get to know them a little bit more, start nurturing that lead a little bit. And now you can start asking for that sale a little bit more and really showing how you're going to be able to help them in even more detail. Because if you're giving them a little bit for free, what can they really expect when they actually pay you and they're going to start getting even more value from you? Now, the third way to pull in clients, and actually this is really one of my favorites, is to establish partnerships. And there's many different ways that you can do this, and there's a lot of different partnerships that you can establish, but this is really essentially partnering with someone else who is working actively on lead generation. And whether this is lead generation for their own business and they just want to outsource the work, or they're naturally getting leads due to the type of work that they bring in normally, but it's different, but complements the work that you are doing. This is a great person or company to be able to partner with because they're doing a lot of the upfront work, and then you are able to just collect the work on the back end. So again, this is really looking at your own business goals. How do you want your business to run, and how would you like to pull in some business in the short term? So partnerships is actually one of the strategies that I used very early on in my business, and it worked really, really well. And it allowed me to have work and income while I started implementing some of the longer term strategies, so that I no longer needed to rely on the partnerships really to be able to grow my business. So as you can see, for those of you who are introverted like me, some of these strategies can also work really well for you because you don't have to put yourself too far out of your comfort zone in order to be able to make these work and start pulling in your clients. But if you do want other ideas on how to sell as an introvert, there is a video that I created about that, giving you a lot of ideas, because this is something that I went through myself as an introvert, and how to really grow and expand yourself so that you get really comfortable, like me being able to go from someone who hated talking to clients and hated the selling aspect to now that's what I would just prefer to do. I prefer to talk to the clients and strategize with them, and I find it a lot of fun. So these are the strategies that I use to help me with that. But anyways, I hope that this really gives you some ideas about how you can start with some short-term ideas to start bringing in some clients, bringing in some revenue that's going to free you up to be able to concentrate on some longer term strategies moving forward. So if you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.